This is a video on setting up minimum ventilation on a broiler house. We're going to just step through a few things on the Ventra Pro as far as setting that up. So the first thing we'd want to do before we even mess with the controller is think about how many birds we're going to have in this house. And in the example we're going to use here, we'll just use 30,000 as a number, and we'll use kind of a rule of thumb for day one, 0.1 CFM per bird, and then at day 30 and on, we'll do 1 CFM per bird. So basically what that calculates to at 30,000 birds is 3,000 CFM we want at age 1 and 30,000 CFM at age 30 and on. So in this case, that's going to be more than what one fan will do, so we're going to set up 2 fans and do a minimum vent. So our first step we're going to do is go to our couple sidewall fans we're going to use that are already set up in here. The first one, I just went to the hotkey for it, is sidewall fan group number 1, and underneath here, one of the settings that it has, this one's in Celsius by the way, is run mode. And we're going to change that, hit enter, and then plus to change the setting. We'll run on temp or minimum vent. So we're going to do that. And now after I pressed enter, the flashing cursor went away, so it's saved. We're going to hit the plus key to change to the setting for our second sidewall fan, and we'll set it also. Hit enter to go to edit, plus to until I get to temp or min vent. Okay, so now that's set. Now we have 2 min vent fans available. In this case, we're going to assume they're 54 inch, about 25,000 CFM each. So when they both run, we'll have about 50,000 CFM cubic feet per minute of air being exhausted by those 2 fans. So, and then when those fans run, whatever proportional setting for inlets that go with those fans will also adjust, or static pressure run inlets. Let's say you're using sidewall inlets for these particular fans. That'll be in that will be in the cool settings for those inlets. So anyway, those will operate automatically when the fan comes on. So now we want to set up our actual min vent, and we want to do a ramp because this is a broiler house. We're going to start at age 1, and we'll ramp to age 30, and then it will stay at the age 30 level from there on out, just however many days you've got. So we'll got to wait for control to do a little bit of writing, and then we'll arrow to the right or left until we get to a heading that says min vent and purge settings. Now the very first one is if you have just a single on and off that you're going to set up. We're going to go down and set up a ramp. So here min vent, ramp point number 1, age, we'll hit enter, change that to age 1, and then what are we going to have for our time on? Well, we said that we just needed 3,000 CFM, so divided by the 50,000 provided by those fans, that equals 0.12. So we're using basically 12%. And if we're doing a 5-minute cycle, 12% will be 36 seconds. So we'll set that as our starting point on here. And that's out of a 5-minute total time. So 36, another 24 gets you to the first minute. So we need 24 seconds plus the number of minutes to equal a 5-minute cycle. So we'll go over to the minute thing and put in our 4:24. So 36 seconds in a 5-minute cycle. Then we're going to hit plus to change from our first ramp point to our second ramp point. We'll set this one at age 30 days. So again, you press enter to edit, plus and minus to change value, and then enter to save that. The on time out of 5 minutes at 30 days, we base that on 30,000 divided by 50,000 or 0.6 or 60% of the time. So we basically want 180 seconds here or 3 minutes. 3 minutes is 180 and oops, kind of went past my last entry there. Okay, which leaves us with 2 minutes here to get a total of a 5-minute cycle. So it'll be on 3, off 2. And then that's set. There are also settings where you can bump up the amount of min vent based on humidity if you have a humidity sensor, so we could do that too. But so far right now we've basically set it up. Right now both channels 6 and 7 are kicking in based on the age that we have in animal info, and will run for that amount of time and cycle. Whenever the temperature is not causing it to be in normal cooling, it's going to run min vent. So like at night it cools down and you still need to have air quality, air exchange. This will kick in and run at the right amount for the age of the birds. And you can actually look in here and it will say, let's see. Okay, so right now based on age, it's setting up where it is set to ramp, and it is making that adjustment as to how long it'll run. Right now it's pretty close to that 60% based on the age that I have punched in there. So that's basically how you do it. And for more information, look at our manual. Check out our website, www.val-co.com. Thanks.